Total cases 531,809. New cases 60,841. Total deaths 24,068. New deaths 2,792. Total recovered 123,405. Active cases 384,336. Serious, critical 19,558. The coronavirus COVID-19 is affecting 199 countries and territories around the world. The day is reset after midnight GMT+0. March 26, 2020. 10 new cases and 1 new death in Cuba, 1321 new cases and 18 new deaths in Austria, 374 new cases and 2 new deaths in Australia, 2 men in their 70s, 1 had been a passenger on the Ruby Princess cruise ship. 9 new cases in Aruba. 2 new cases in Anguilla, 4 new cases in Montserrat, 9 new cases in Rwanda, 65 new cases in Iceland, 21 new cases in Uruguay, 116 new cases and 1 new death in Panama, 85 new cases in New Zealand. 2 new cases in Myanmar, 70 new cases and 8 new deaths in India. 431 new cases and 18 new deaths in Brazil, 138 new cases and 1 new death in Pakistan, 1 new case in Guatemala, 634 new cases and 3 new deaths in Canada, 50 new cases and 5 new deaths in Morocco. 2 new cases in Eritrea, 8 new cases in Bermuda, 4 new cases in Antigua and Barbuda, 192 new cases and 5 new deaths in Ecuador, 255 new cases and 10 new deaths in Ireland, 87 new cases and 4 new deaths in Argentina. 15 new cases in Bosnia and Herzegovina, 4 new cases in Bahamas, 1 new case and 1 new death in Venezuela, first death in the country, a 47-year-old man with underlying conditions. 3 new cases in Niger, 6,615 new cases and 61 new deaths in Germany, 288 new cases in Norway, 8,271 new cases and 718 new deaths in Spain, 1 new case in Togo, 15 new cases in Martinique, 1 new case in Curaçao, 1 new case in Cabo Verde, 6 new cases in Barbados. 2 new cases in Eswatini, 123 new cases and 6 new deaths in Romania, a 76-year-old woman. 6 new cases in Grenada, 9 new cases in Gibraltar, 314 new cases and 15 new deaths in Sweden, 6 new cases and 3 new deaths in Burkina Faso. Alert: 20 new cases and 1 new death in Channel Islands, first death, a woman in her 80s with underlying health issues. 5 new cases in Trinidad and Tobago, 10 new cases and 2 new deaths in Afghanistan including a 55-year-old man in Herat, 53 new cases and 2 new deaths in Croatia, a 74-year-old man and a 65-year-old woman. 1 new case in Angola, 51 new cases in Ukraine, 39 new cases and 3 new deaths in Egypt, 29 new cases in Bolivia, 16 new cases in Côte d'Ivoire. Alert: 914 new cases and 39 new deaths in Switzerland, 30 new cases in Costa Rica, 3 new cases in Equatorial Guinea, 19 new cases and 78 new deaths in the Netherlands, 14 new cases in Nigeria, 5 new cases in Liechtenstein. 2 new cases in Monaco, 15 new cases in Uzbekistan, 1196 new cases and 16 new deaths in Turkey, 324 new cases and 3 new deaths in Israel. 5 new cases in French Polynesia, 170 new cases and 2 new deaths in Poland, 21 new cases and 2 new deaths in Colombia. 2 new cases in Mozambique, 25 new cases in Lithuania, 4 new cases in Georgia, 1 new case in Namibia, 1 new case in the Turks and Caicos Islands, 16 new cases in Montenegro. 2 new cases in Cambodia, 12 new cases in Qatar. 3,922 new cases and 365 new deaths in France, including a 16-year-old girl. 2,129 new cases and 115 new deaths in the United Kingdom, 6,203 new cases and 712 new deaths in Italy. Worldometer has contacted Piedmont officials directly and received confirmation that the number of deaths in the region is 499, 50 more than what mistakenly reported in the Protezioni Civile's bulletin today. This discrepancy was clearly due to a typing error by Protezioni Civile, not to Piedmont's number of new deaths, 16 today, missing in the national report, as incorrectly stated by some media. After solving this discrepancy, we changed the official total number of deaths in Italy from 8,165 to 8,215 and, accordingly, the total number of cases from 80,539 to 80,589. 40 new cases in Jordan, 15 new cases and 1 new death in Honduras, 39 new cases in Bahrain, 100 new cases in Peru, 14 new cases in Cyprus, 65 new cases and 4 new deaths in Algeria, 271 new cases and 3 new deaths in Czechia, 4 new cases in Sri Lanka. Alert South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa issues stay-at-home order for 21 days. 120 new cases and 1 new death in Luxembourg, 153 new cases and 7 new deaths in Denmark, 96 new cases in the Dominican Republic. 2 new cases in Mali, 71 new cases and 5 new deaths in Greece, a 46-year-old man with underlying health issues. 3 new cases and 1 new death in Kenya, a 66-year-old man. 35 new cases in Lebanon, 34 new cases and 1 new death in Slovenia. Authorities had initially reported 577 positive cases, but some people were apparently tested twice and the cumulative number of positive cases was later adjusted to 562. 17,224 new cases and 268 new deaths in the United States. One previously reported COVID-19 death in Hawaii has been retracted. New York State Gov. Cuomo press briefing, COVID-19 patients' average time on ventilator, 11 to 21 days versus 3 to 4 days for non-COVID-19 patients. We have patients that have been 20 days 30 days on a ventilator. The longer you are on a ventilator, the more likely you are not going to get off a ventilator. New York is testing more per capita than South Korea. 28 new cases in Moldova, 218 new cases in South Africa, 24 new cases in Réunion, 80 new cases and 2 new deaths in Japan, 22 new cases in Bulgaria, 32 new cases and 1 new death in Kazakhstan, first death. 33 new cases in Mauritius, 5 new cases in Vietnam, 73 new cases and 3 new deaths in Serbia, including an 80-year-old man and a 62-year-old woman, both with underlying health issues. 24 new cases in Tunisia, 25 new cases and 1 new death in Armenia, first death, a 72-year-old person. 4 new cases in Zambia, 78 new cases and 2 new deaths in Finland, 164 new cases and 1 new death in Chile, 235 new cases and 3 new deaths in Malaysia, 52 new cases in Singapore, 4 new cases in Madagascar, 36 new cases and 2 new deaths in Andorra, 112 new cases and 1 new death in Saudi Arabia, 5 new cases in Malta, 24 new cases in the Republic of North Macedonia, 36 new cases and 7 new deaths in Iraq. 549 new cases and 17 new deaths in Portugal, 43 new cases in China, Hong Kong SAR. 29 new cases and 1 new death in Azerbaijan. Alert 2,389 new cases and 157 new deaths in Iran, 64 new cases in Ghana, 3 new cases in Laos, 28 new cases and 1 new death in Albania, a 71-year-old woman who had hypertension. 1298 new cases and 42 new deaths in Belgium. 2 new cases in Isle of Man, 6 new cases in Senegal, 5 new cases in Brunei Darussalam, 1 new case in Mauritania, a 74-year-old man who had returned from France, 10 new cases in Oman, 5 new cases in Bangladesh, 10 new cases in Slovakia, 134 new cases in Estonia, 103 new cases and 20 new deaths in Indonesia. 23 new cases in Latvia, 13 new cases in Kuwait, 71 new cases and 7 new deaths in the Philippines, 3 new cases and 1 new death in the Dr. Congo, 182 new cases in Russia, 1 new case in Somalia, 4 new cases in Paraguay, 8 new cases in Faroe Islands, 15 new cases in the State of Palestine, 17 new cases in Taiwan, 1 new case in Mongolia, 1 new case in Gabon, 35 new cases in Hungary, 111 new cases in Thailand. Total cases surpass 1,000. Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha announced a state of emergency as of Thursday and until April 30. No curfew for now, but the public needs to cooperate. 70 new cases and 1 new death in Mexico, 104 new cases and 5 new deaths in South Korea, 4 new cases in El Salvador, 55 new cases and 5 new deaths in China, 67 new cases, 6 new deaths, and 401 new discharges occurred in China on March 25, as reported by the National Health Commission (NHC) of China.